episode of Security 101. This week we're going to talk about some Facebook settings to keep you and your family safe. So many times people just create the account and don't consider how their Facebook is configured. And there's so many things you can do to help protect you and your kids, and we know that Facebook is very popular with your children. So if we can help them protect themselves, it's less worry for you whenever they are on Facebook. It seems like it's very popular with kids these days, and they just quickly create an account and don't think about all the consequences that are going on Facebook. So this week we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to be in this cloud thing in a couple minutes here. We're going to go to my desktop where I'm going to walk through settings for Facebook and what they mean and the recommended settings that you should probably set them to, and a little bit about the options that you have available to you in there. So right now, let's go to my desktop.
Okay, so here we are over at my desktop, and what we're going to do is, I'm on Facebook already. I've already logged into Facebook, and I'm on my home page. But what we want to do is go to the security settings. So the way you get there is up top to the right hand side of your home screen. You click on the icon, and it gives you some privacy shortcuts, like who can see my stuff. It varies depending on every time you come in here. It's a little different. What you want to do though is go down to where it says see more settings, and we're going to walk through all of the settings. So you start out with privacy right here, and the thing is you want to see who can see what you're putting up there. So the first thing we do is who can see my stuff, and what you can say right here is who can see your future post. So we're going to go here. I have a custom set up. We're going to go in here. We're going to click on the edit just like this. And right here you see where I have custom. So I'm going to click on custom, and I have custom set up right here. And when you go into custom, you can see people on different lists. So there's your friends, friends of friends, specific people, etc. Plus you can also check different networks that you are attached to as well. And you can also see I do not want to share with people that are on this list. So this is a group that or a list that I've set up of my friends that I basically do not want to share updates with. So let's get out of here and actually make all these changes in here. You do save changes. Now there are some default ones. I'm doing custom, but you could also pick public, which I definitely do not necessarily recommend. Your friends or only yourself. And then you can come down and you can define groups as in list. So here's family and close friends, which are groups that I've created in my Facebook profile. So that's how you configure who can see what you post. Now you can also, when you do that actual post, and actually let me go out here and I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm going to come out here, and if I was going to put out a note as I'm here, I can come down here and I can change at the time of posting what I want to do. So my default is the custom, but say I want to create a public post, maybe trying to promote something or something like that, I would click on public. Or if I only want to get my friends information, things like that. So, and again, you can see all my list right here, my close friends and family. If I go to see all my list, I can come down here, pick who I want to send it to, and then send it as right then. So you're not stuck when you set up your custom. Like I set up my custom, you can always change it at the time that you want to post the actual update. So let's go back to our security settings. And the next thing down is, do you want to review all your posts and things you're tagged in? So what you can do is set up activity log, and you can go through and review when somebody tags a photo of you, and I don't go through that much detail. Hardly anybody tags any photos of me, so I'm good with that. And then we come down here and limit the audience for posts that you've shared with friends or public. So you basically can go back and limit down the past posts as well, and that allows you to limit old posts and things that are from the past you don't want. Again, I don't post anything that I'm not okay with leaving up there, so I'm going to leave that off. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to come down to see who can look me up. And what this is saying is who can search for me by email address or by phone number. Well, first of all, I don't recommend you ever put a phone number in Facebook. So, but if you really want to, that's totally your choice. And you notice here I have friends, and I think the default is everyone. If you come in here and you look on the list, you can see you have everyone, friends of friends, and friends. So in this case, I have friends, which means that only my friends can find me by my email address. The reason you don't want it to be everyone is because if somebody does get your email address and wants to do some research on you, the quickest thing they can do is go to Facebook and look you up by your email address, and they're going to find you by your email address. So you just don't want everyone doing that, which I believe is the default for Facebook. So I would recommend friends of friends or friends, one of those two, and remove it from everyone. So I'm already at friends. I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to close it. And then, do you want other search engines to link to your timeline? Well, I have that on. I'm not going to post anything in Facebook that I don't really care to be shared. I'm very sensitive about what I put out there, so I think I'm fine with that. However, if you have things that are questionable, you may want to limit down what other search engines you can do, and you do that by going into edit and unchecking this box just like this, and you do have to confirm that you want to do that. Now I don't really want to do that, so I'm going to cancel and close. Alright, now we're going to go over here to the left side again. Under privacy, the next thing down is timeline and tagging. So we can click on that, and it says who can add things to my timeline. Well, I have friends turned on because I pretty much trust most of my friends. However, if you're one of those people that has friends in your friends list that you don't necessarily trust, you can come in here and you can say only me. That means only you can post on your timeline. Other people cannot post on your wall, is what I used to call that, I guess, posting on your wall. I'm going to leave mine friends because I'm okay with people posting on my wall, and if ever they do post something that's bad, I generally unfriend them, so we're all good there too. So I'm going to close that out. And you can also review post friends that tag you before they appear in your timeline. Well, that's basically somebody finds you in a picture and tags you in a picture. Do you want to be able to validate that before you're tagged? I have it turned off. Some people may want that turned on though. You may, if you do a lot of pictures with people, you may want to enable this, and that will limit who can add pictures to your timeline by tagging you before you check them out. So again, I'm disabled, but if that's something you're concerned about, definitely enable that. Alright, so who can see things on my timeline? So here's where it gets a little weird, for me at least. It says you can review what other people see on your timeline, and what you do is you go out and you do a view as. And when you do that, you're going to see by default what people are seeing if they are public. We see right here is public, and it's just this tool is telling you is you're going to view it from a different perspective now. So I click on OK, and this is what you would see if you go to my Facebook page and you're not my friend. So this is the public view that I have out there. Now I may have more stuff than some people probably would recommend having out there, but again, I don't put anything out there that's not really open to the outside. So you see kind of basic details, some of my friends, you know, my wife information, family information, photo albums, things like that, and it comes down here. But you never really see any of my posts that are in my timeline. You're just seeing very high level information. Like these are all of my pages. Actually, these are all my pages over here, and this is my shows that are listed on Stitcher. So it's nothing that's I don't want you to get to. I've limited it down to what is okay. I probably should cut down some of these albums a little bit. I just haven't gotten to that point, but there's nothing really dangerous in them. And then my friends, of course, my wife, and where I've lived and where I live now, things like that. But you can't get enough detail to tell exactly where I live. I live in Knoxville, Maryland, and that doesn't tell you exactly where I live. Knoxville covers a pretty good size area, so not very much detail there. You can also up here and say view as specific person, and I can put a friend's name in there, or I can do a group as well. So let's see, let me pick one of our other hosts here and see what he can see about me. And it comes up, and now you can see he sees a lot more information. He sees all these other posts that are coming up here. You come down through here, you see much more detail about what's going on in my timeline. So that's because he is a friend. So that's how you can kind of see what people are going to see depending on who they are. And then go back to public again, and you can see I am going to be in the public mode. And then when you're done with this, basically you click X and you go back to your normal mode. Now that does take you out of your security settings page. So let's go back into more settings for security and go back to timeline and tagging. And this is where we were before. So now, who can see posts you've been tagged in on your timeline? Well, I'm going to say friends of friends. Basically, it says my friends and their friends can see that. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to edit and show you the options. And you can say everyone, which I do not recommend. Friends of friends, friends, and you can also do custom like I did before. And you can also see all your lists down here as well. So you can see, you may have a safe friends list, for example, and those are the ones that can see your tagged items in your timeline. So I'm going to leave mine friends of friends. I'm going to close this and we're going to move on to the next one. Who can see what others post on your timeline? So this kind of goes with this one up top, but this is where somebody posts something on my timeline. We've covered this before. Who can post? Now I see my friends can post. But when they do that, who can see those posts? Well, I have friends of friends, because I assume that if a friend is going to post on my Facebook page, their friends may be interested in something similar as well. So I left it there. That's not necessarily always the safe thing to do, but again, it's how I use Facebook. I don't put a lot of information that's personal out there in the first place. But your options are everyone. Again, never recommend everyone. Friends of friends, friends, and you can create the custom list and you can do your list just like the other options as well. I'm going to leave mine friends of friends. Now we come down here and the next section is how can I manage tags people add and tagging suggestions. So we mentioned this before where you can review posts that friends tag you in. Here you review tags people add to your own posts before they appear on Facebook. So you put a post out with a picture and somebody tries tagging somebody else, which is good for the most part. The thing is, do you want to review when somebody does that? I don't generally have a problem with this. I have it turned off. And again, I don't do a lot with photos or anything like that. So I don't generally worry about it. But you can come in here and you can enable this. So when somebody takes your photo and they tag somebody else that's in the picture, you want to review it prior to it going out. So if you do a lot of photos, that may be a good thing to turn on. And again, I don't do a lot with photos, so it doesn't really affect me very much. So I'm going to leave mine disabled, and I'm going to close this. Okay, so now when you're tagged in a post, who do you want to add to the audience if they aren't already in it? So basically what this is saying is when somebody tags you, a friend tags you, and who do you want to be able to see that somebody tagged you? So I'm saying friends, because friends of my friends probably don't really care, but my friends may care. Again, in this here option, you have the ability to do friends and only me, and you can do your custom like we talked about before. So I'm going to say friends. Friends are okay. I trust my friends, so they're not a friend if I don't trust them. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it friends. So you really have to evaluate, are your friends really your friends? That's a good question, because if not, you may want to increase some of these security settings. It definitely makes a difference. All right, now who sees tag suggestions when photos that look like you are uploaded? Again, this is friends. I think that's probably safe for the most part, but you can completely turn it off and say no one. That's totally your choice. If you want people to know when you see tag suggestions, then you can just say no one. I'm going to leave it friends. So there we've covered the timeline and tagging options. So now we're going to come down, we're going to talk about blocking. So blocking is where you deal with either people or apps that, or even events now, that are annoying you. So you see in my list, I have blocked users, and it's not because I'm not friends with these people. The thing is, sometimes people are a little overzealous in what they post, and they repost other people's stuff and send you app requests and all this stuff, very consistently and constantly. So I actually have blocked 2 people, not that because they're not my friends. It's just that they were over posting stuff, so they are blocked in here. And actually, I could take both of these people because they were both app related, and this was done before there were actual block apps options, and so now I can actually add those apps that they were constantly re-inviting me to the block apps and unblock them. In fact, I'm going to do that anyways. I'm going to go ahead and unblock both of these people just like this, and if I continue to get apps from them, I will go ahead and put the blocked apps down here. So the block users does exactly that. It blocks the user. You don't see any of their updates, their posts, or their app suggestions, things like that. So that basically turns them off. I mean, for the most part, which is something I hate to do because these are our friends. But at the time I did block those two people, they were being a little bit annoying with apps. So or one particular app. It might not have been them. It could have been the app itself. All right. So the next thing we could get down is the block app invites. So I could have added these people down here as well at the time, but this did not exist either. So this may be the better place for some people, but you'll see here you can put in people that are constantly sending app invites. You can just mute the app invite, which is a very nice feature rather than blocking the entire user. So just like up top, you can add the name of the friend, and it'll pull it out of your friends list and add them in here. And then you can block event invites. If you get a lot of event invites, you see I don't block anybody. I get some event invites, but it's very rare actually that I get something. So my list is empty, but if you have somebody who's doing the annoying thing of sending you invites constantly, you can put them in here and block them as well. And then down here you have block apps, and you see I'm starting to build up a list of things that are blocked, and it's not by people as much as it's by app. This is the better way. This is my favorite thing right here. This and the app invites, you see I'm starting to add people to them versus doing the block up top. So if you have a particular app you just don't want to see anything more about, I used to block, try to get rid of Farmville. Of course I haven't seen Farmville invite for I don't know how long. I'm not even sure if Farmville even exists anymore. But you'd put that app in here and it would then block it from you seeing invites from that. Alright, so that's it for the blocking. Let's go back over here to the left, and we're going to go back to the one tab that you thought we would have started with, and then security. However, there's not really a lot in there. There's a couple of things you should probably have turned on by default. So let's go over here to security. And the very first one says secure browsing, and you can tell I am going to HTTPS, which means that my conversation between the server and me is encrypted. And that should almost always be on. I can't think of a reason where you'd want that to be turned off. So make sure that it says secure browsing is currently enabled. Now, I have my login notifications disabled because I don't need to be notified every time that I log into Facebook. However, if you think that somebody else is using your Facebook or has hacked into your Facebook and you would like to track that, you can turn on login notifications and it'll let you know when your account is logged into. I do not have a security code required when logging in from an unknown browser. I can't really think of an actual application for this, but if you would want to limit it down to log in with a special code from unknown browsers, you can definitely do that. I have no app passwords, and most apps don't require passwords, so you may or may not have anything in here. And then I have no devices, and I have my last active session, which is me right now logging in from what it says is Jefferson, Maryland, but actually I live in Knoxville, Maryland. So you can see where you have come in and have active sessions from right here. And if you come in and you click the edit, you can see your last activity, and you can even see what browser it was or what tool it was, in this case Facebook for iOS. So you can see your history. This comes back again to if you think somebody is logging in as you into Facebook, you can definitely kind of see what's going on here. So that's it for setting up Facebook for security. It's best to make Facebook as secure as possible, especially for the children. Kids that are getting younger and younger are getting on Facebook all the time, and you really they don't think about security. They're kind of like most older adults as well, where they trust people a lot. So then it's not necessarily good, because there are a lot of people out there who look for kids on Facebook, use Facebook as the tool to find kids to do nasty things with them. So it's always good to keep your kids safe. And if your kids are on, always watch what they do. Make sure that they don't hide things from you. If they do, make sure you take the computer away. So I'm trying to say is like you know their passwords, so you can go in and look and see what they're doing. Always friend them. Make sure that's a rule as well, that you're a friend on their Facebook, so you can kind of see what's going on from the public side too. But that's a whole different thing that we're talking about here. This is more of the Facebook security setup. So that's it for Security 101 for this week. We'll see you next week.